to Apologetics with No Apology, where we make the case for faith and never retreat. Let's get right to it. Imagine you're hiking in the woods. No roads, no houses, just wilderness. You stumble upon a smartphone lying in the dirt. No cracked screen like this one. There's no explanation. What's your first thought? You don't say, wow, look what nature accidentally put together. You'd say, who dropped this? Who lost this? But you know someone made it. Because you know instinctively, design points to a designer. Back in the 1800s, a man named William Paley said the same thing, only he used a pocket watch. He said if you find a watch with springs, gears, and hands all working in sync, you wouldn't assume it made itself. You conclude it was designed. That was with a watch. Now we carry smartphones. Smartphones recognize your face, talk back to you, give directions, play music, and connect you to the world in milliseconds. Paley was impressed by a timepiece. So let me ask, what should we think about the mind that invented the phone? Or the mind that invented the mind? Let's be honest. It's ridiculous to believe a smartphone requires a designer. But the mind behind the smartphone just happened? That's not logic. That's willful blindness. Don't let anyone get comfortable with that contradiction. If design demands a designer, what does it say about you? Let me break this down. Here's the core of the design argument. Where there is design, there is a designer. That isn't just intuition. This is logic, and it's backed by real evidence. Let me give you two examples. Fine-tuning. The universe isn't just big, it's precise. Gravity, the speed of light, the strength of the nuclear force. These constraints are finely tuned. Change just one of them by a hair, and life is impossible. No stars, no atoms, no us. Even atheists admit the odds of this happening by chance are so slim, it's like hitting a 1-inch target from 14 billion light years away on your first try. That's not an accident, that's intentional. And yet some still say it's just luck. Friend, at some point, faith in randomness becomes more religious than faith in God. What about DNA? Inside every one of your cells is 3 billion letter code, your DNA. It's written in a 4-letter chemical alphabet and contains the instructions to build you. Think about that. Information, not random junk, real instructions. Where does information ever come from? Not from chaos, not from chance, always from a mind. So who wrote the code of life? Let's not pretend code writes itself. Not in computers, not in biology, not anywhere. If you wouldn't accept that a text message came from nowhere, why would you accept that life did? Now, someone's going to say, what about evolution? Fair question. Here's the thing. The design argument isn't necessarily against evolution. It's deeper than that. It's about origins. Where did the laws of physics come from? Where did the first cell get its code? Where did matter, energy, and time come from? Before there was anything. Saying evolution did it is like walking into a library and saying the books wrote themselves. It's not science. It's a guess, dressed up in a lab coat. Another objection? It just happened. Well, that's blind faith in randomness. Let me ask, would you believe Scrabble tiles blew off a table and spelled the Declaration of Independence? Of course not. And yet we're supposed to believe life, conscious, moral, thinking life just happened? You need more faith to believe in that than to believe in God. No apology for saying that, because it's true. The Bible has been saying this from the beginning. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Psalm 19:1. Since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made. Romans 1:20. In other words, you're not missing evidence. You're swimming in it. For in him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28. Every sunrise, every heartbeat, every atom, every thought, every code. We may not see God's face, but we see his fingerprints everywhere. This is Apologetics with No Apology. I'm Anthony Aquino, making the case for faith with reason and without retreat. You were made on purpose, for a purpose, and that purpose isn't to stumble through life wondering if you matter. You do. And you weren't created by chance. You were crafted by a creator. Don't retreat from the truth. And don't apologize for reason. God is not a myth. Chance is. See you next time.